Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Welcome to my extra little bonus live stream. So it's the release day, well, the digital streaming release day today for Paul McCartney's 3 Imagined. This mix of covers and remixes, duets, I guess some of them are, of songs from McCartney 3. And I decided let's have a listening party like I did on the release day for McCartney 3 back in December. And thank you everybody for joining me. We're not going to go straight into it right this minute. I want to give chance for maybe a few people to join. And so welcome everybody. First of all, if you just let me know in the chat, have you heard the album already? If you have, what's your favourite songs on it? Or is anybody brand new to the album, going in blind? Let me know. Also, I've put links right up at the top of this chat. The chat for the live stream, if you scroll right up to the top, if anybody's not got access to the album yet, if you've not found a Spotify link or Apple Music or anything like that, I've put a load of links there. What is going to happen, I'll just take a moment to explain. Shortly, what we're going to do is we're all going to press play at our own end on the album. I can't play the album here and have it broadcasting to you because I'll get shut down. So we're all going to press play at our end. I'm going to have my headphones on. Ignore all the tape. These are about 25 years old, these headphones. And we're just going to play the album, have a chat about it, see what we think, what do we like, what don't we like, what do we think has been a winner on here, and just see generally what we think about it. So we'll kick that off fairly shortly. It might be an idea if anybody's just joining. It might be one way you might want to sort of rewind a bit and see it from the beginning. You can watch this on catch up. You can always play the album again and see what everybody's talking about as we go through the day after today, whenever you want to do. Hello everybody, all the hellos coming through. Hi Anthony, all right. First time listening, you've heard the Ed O'Brien remix, that's Sliding, isn't it? And Beck, Find My Way. Your favourite, okay. Hi Oliver, you liked one song, the Deep Deep Feeling remix. Well, you've got quite a while to wait then until we get to the bit that you like. Hopefully some of it will grab you more as we go along. We will see. From my point of view, I have listened to the album twice through today. So obviously this is going to be my third run through of the album. I didn't want to go into it completely blind on this. So yeah, I've picked up a few things and thoughts along the way, so I'll share those as we go through. So a couple songs. How you like my Spotify username? Oh, can you see that? Oh, you can see that on screen, can't you? Yes, I am Ubu Jubu on Spotify, as I am in all sorts of places on the internet. If you see an Ubu Jubu knocking around, it's probably me, to be honest. Yeah, there's a few people liking it. That's good. Because it'd be a bit weird if you rocked up to this hating the album. That would be a bit odd. Hi, Crazy for Beatles. Did you see the Paul Instagram lives yesterday? I did. I missed the beginning of the first one with... the first one was with... What's the name? Is it St. Vincent? Then I saw the Ed O'Brien one. That was really good, where his daughter joined him as well, and they were saying how Let It Be was her favourite song. So yeah, they were good. I think they're on YouTube now. I think they're available to watch, so they were good. Hi P, sad day today. Plastic Ono band postponed for 1 week. I think, to be honest, P, that happened weeks ago. It might be official now. I don't know, but it was kind of on the cards a few weeks ago. But it'll be worth it. I promise you, it will be worth it when you get it. You will enjoy it as I've been enjoying it, definitely. A couple songs. Has heard a couple. Interesting. You hate Pretty Boys. We may have a chat about that as we get to Pretty Boys. I have some thoughts on that, definitely. So it looks like a lot of you have heard at least a few songs, if not all the album. So that's good. So just a reminder, sorry, but people are going to be joining a little bit late. Just a reminder, we're all going to hit play on the album at our end at the same time. You'll be able to see from what's on the screen. Get me spatial awareness right. You'll be able to see from what's on the screen exactly where I'm up to, so you might want to try and sync it so that it's to get the best experience. But I think we might want to dive into this fairly soon. So I'm just going to give you all a minute just to get ready, just so that you can hit play when we're ready. But I think we're about a minute or so away from going into McCartney 3 Imagined. Let's just see what else is coming through on the chat before we do that. Killian says, I wonder how Paul wrote Let It Be. He did do the story again, didn't he? Yesterday, he didn't talk about the movement, the parrot on his shoulder. That was one thing that he did refrain from yesterday. But it was a good interview. I liked it. He looked really relaxed. He looked really well as well, which was good. So that was fun. Right. Okay, P, you did know about that. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. Right. Okay. Are we all about ready? Let's not prolong this anymore. I've got my headphones on. You should still be able to hear me, hopefully, depending on how you're set up. I'm not going to gab all the way through this. I will shut up at some points. But I think we just go in and we enjoy this album. So if we're ready, I'm about ready. I'm going to give you a little countdown here. I'm going to go with, and remember, I'll tell you what, actually, what I'm going to do, every 2 or 3 songs, I'm just going to pause for a little bit. And we can just have a bit of a chat, because there'll be some of you who might be streaming on a platform where you've got adverts between songs, and it might push you back a bit. It'll give you a chance to catch up. So every 2 or 3 songs, I'm just going to pause it for a minute or so, and you'll get a chance to catch up. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go. First song is Find My Way featuring Beck, and I'm going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I won't dance all the way through either. This didn't grab me straight away, I must admit, when I first heard it. This has been a bit of a grower for me as this one. But I like the groove of it, and I think the groove is the phrase I've had throughout a lot of this album. It sounds fresh, modern, I like it. I need a mic. Have we all started, yeah? We've all started. Cheers. This is, it's relaxed and chilled as this, isn't it? But like I say, it didn't grab me at all on the first couple of listens, but I'm getting into this one more now. I've never been particularly a Beck fan, to be honest. So this is one of those ones where it feels to me as though mainly he's built up his own instrumentation. Just use Paul's voice and maybe a little bit more of it, but I'm guessing the instrumental is mainly Beck's. Have we all gone? I guess we've all gone. Oliver says, really wish more of Beck's vocals. Is Beck actually singing on this one? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm still learning. If anybody's just joining, you can see where I'm at with this. Try and get yourself synced at the same point and listen along with us. You can hear the music from my headphones. I'll turn it down a little bit. I don't want to turn it down too much. P says it's a positive vibe. I think a lot of it's positive on this album. Sheffield and beyond. Looking forward to visiting your great city tomorrow for the snooker. It is a great way to spend a Friday night. I think, yeah. P, you had some trouble with this song first time, but it grows. It does. Definitely grows is this one. Becky's an acquired taste, says Marcus. You like him and don't like him in equal measures. I've never really spent much time at all with his music. I like there's all percussion going off, very stereo effect, really nice. It's the first time I've listened through the cans. I did it once in the car earlier on and once through my speakers. Are we all playing it loud? You got it pumped up? Oliver's skipping. You're jumping ahead, Oliver. You won't be in sync with us. Yeah, I'll be doing some record shopping tomorrow, Sheffield. Definitely. Did some today as well. I think this song's done about everything it's going to do. It's going to sort of linger along to the end now, but it's definitely a good chilled vibe. I think it eases you in. It's interesting that they've not gone with the order of McCartney 3. It's a different order for the track listing. I wonder if they thought that it just worked better for these arrangements of the songs this way, maybe. Killian, you like the original too much? This is very different to the original, isn't it? Got you, Oliver. I'm with you. Yeah. It's interesting as well. They must think that these first two are the big two, with them being the ones that were promoted ahead of the album, potentially. How many vinyl versions did I buy, says Jelly? I've got two. I've got the Indie White vinyl and I got the Spotify Coke Bottle Green vinyl. Yeah. Okay, Kiss of Venus just starting now. Dominic Fike. This is growing on me as well. I mean, it's very modern. And I can see how people would take against it. But I think there's a lot here to enjoy on this. Thumbs up or thumbs down to Kiss of Venus? Let me know. I'm giving it a thumbs up. You've got an ad, a couple of songs. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna pause it every now and again so you can catch up. About Lou Rolls. Brilliant. That's Neptune's kiss, isn't it? Not the kiss of Venus. It's a good point, Anthony, about cancelling vinyl orders. I'm going to talk about that because that's a really interesting point, I think. Thumbs up from Andrew Davis. Thumbs up from Gel. Oliver's loving it. It's almost like the equivalent of For You from Egypt Station, isn't it, this? The way that Paul sort of tried to be ultra-modern. Tried to be, whether it worked or not is up to you. This is kind of the equivalent on air, I think. Okay, it's a mixed reaction, but generally more positive than negative. That's good. That's good. I've got about 20 seconds left. I'm going to hit pause at the end of the Kiss of Venus, folks. I'm going to hit pause at the end of this, let other people catch up. Let's just talk about a couple of things. Okay, I'm pausing. I'm pausing at the end of the Kiss of Venus, just to let people who've got ads when they're streaming catch up. And let's just see. Some interesting points there. Was it Anthony who asked about would I cancel my vinyl order if I didn't like it? I don't know whether I would. I'm not going to. But I think it's a really bold or daft move, I'm not quite sure with this, where there's obviously 3 months now until it comes out physically. And if you like the album, you'll play it a lot between now and then. If you don't like the album, then I can see a lot of people cancelling their orders if they don't like it, and it's a dangerous game to play, I think, is this. I mean, I guess it's all been driven by just the massive demand for vinyl and the demands on the manufacturing process at the moment, I guess, is what's driven this delay. They wanted to get the album out on streaming, but they can't get it out on vinyl yet, I'm guessing is what's happening. But it is brave, because a lot of people might cancel if they think, well, I've listened to it for 3 months, I've had enough of it, or if they don't like it at all. Anyway, that's just one particular point I wanted to mention. Hopefully a few of you have caught up now with the adverts, and we're going to go in with Pretty Boys in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to say now, this is probably my favourite on the album. I love this. It's like 90s ambient dub. And that automatically means it's a bit like the Fireman. This is like listening to 90s Fireman, I think. I love the bass on it. Again, let's have a thumbs up or a thumbs down for Pretty Boys. Either if you know it already or wait till later if you're in it for the first time. Why not issue the CD now, says Phil. It's a good point, and I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. I think it's a gamble that they've done, definitely. Good point from a couple songs. Maybe they release the digital version first, more for the younger audiences as they stream more. Maybe so. That's a perfectly reasonable thought. This is the vibe again. I mean, it's not a stunning song, but I just think it's a really good groove. Don't worry, Oliver. We've got, in about 40 minutes, we've got one that you like. Yeah, in the morning before school after a 4-hour sleep, it's probably not the best time to listen to this. Thank you, Dan. Krangbin. I didn't know. I had no idea how to pronounce it, so thank you. Krangbin. Krangbin. Okay, cool. P, you're getting hip tonight. Good man. Sheffield and Beyond first listen. Happy so far. Very good. Anybody's just joining us, we're 2 minutes 20 into Pretty Boys if you want to sync with us. Yeah, Anthony, it's not a very prominent McCartney voice, is it? I think this is more about the bass and the groove. Oh, Rick's not enjoying it either. Is this the first time you've heard it, Rick? Let me know. I agree, Crazy for Beatles. This is my favourite, probably of the whole album. Potentially, except for one more, which we'll talk about when we get to it. Yeah, Jel, you don't love it yet? That's cool. Sometimes if you love something on the first listen, I find they're the kind of things that you can get bored of quite quickly. If it takes you a while to get into it, but you do get into it, sometimes those albums stick with you more, I find. Yeah, Phil, Twin Freaks meets the Fireman. That's a good description. Yeah, go with that. Ooh, this is interesting. Couple Songs wasn't happy with this earlier, but it's growing on him. Again, it's the vibe. You're not a fan of Twin Freaks, P? I'd love a reissue of Twin Freaks. I need to get that on vinyl. I love that album. It's the bass. It's the bass and the drums here. Very nice. Is that right, Si? Using a riff from Portishead? I did not know that. That's interesting. Yeah, Crazy for Beatles. He has made stems available, hasn't he? Was it Chaos and Creation or was it Electric Arguments? I thought it was Electric Arguments. Maybe he's done it for that as well. Good question from Anthony. Have I preferred the remixes or the covers overall? Overall, probably the remixes so far. Yeah, Twin Freaks on green or yellow vinyl, that would be lovely. Or a mixture of both. You're welcome, Marcus. Do you want another one? Do you another one there? That might not have been in time without how you're listening to it. Okay, we'll do Women and Wives, and then after Women and Wives, we will have another pause for those who have got adverts to contend with. Hear me, women and wives. I'm trying to remember this one. I can't remember what I thought about this one now, so I'm... and I still need to take this one in more. Okay, a couple of songs. It's new for you for a little while. That's good. This is the one that I think's had the best reviews so far, or of the reviews overnight when it hit. It's the groove, isn't it? Dum, 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 dum. The nice backing vocals. This feels like listening to Massive Attack or something like that. Taco Bell adverts to contend with. A couple songs is getting well into this album now by the sounds of it. It's the vibe again. I keep saying it, but it's all about the vibe, is this album. Oliver, is this a 0 out of 4 for you so far? I think it's been slowed down again, hasn't it? From what it was on McCartney 3. Ah. Gus Menson's awesome guitar, this is it. That's good. I hadn't noticed that before. Little change of pace, that's good. Sigh, that might help. Or a glass of wine. Justin, I've not had any big changes of opinions on McCartney 3, to be honest. I'm still enjoying it, still playing it reasonably regularly. I still prefer Egypt Station. Okay, we're coming up to the end of Women and Wives. I'm going to pause it for those who've been contending with Taco Bell adverts. So I'm going to pause at the end of Women and Wives. Let's just take in what we've just had there. So that was, yeah, again, two very, very modern sounding songs. And this is, I think I mentioned this on another video recently, but it's interesting here that for years, ever since Paul's voice changed as he got older, a lot of people have said, oh, Paul should let other people sing his songs, which I never really agreed with that. But this is kind of what he's doing now. Not necessarily on these last two, but on some of the, like the Kiss of Venus and some of the others that have been covers. And people are still critical of it, so he can't win whatever he does in some ways. But I thought they were two really good songs there, Pretty Boys especially. What have we got on the chat? Again, just give people another minute or so to catch up before we go into Deep Down. Am I ambidextrous with Airbase? No, I've got to do it that way. I don't even know what to do if I turn my hands around. A couple of songs, Doesn't Understand What the Bad Reviews Are About. You're loving this. Maybe Sliding is an exception. It's just lazy. It's interesting. Sliding was the one I was probably most excited about, with it being Ed O'Brien from Radiohead, but it's the one that's grabbed me one of the least so far. He should do the same for McCartney 1 and 2. Oh, That'd set the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? We have, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but we've got Listen Out on this album for some McCartney 2 samples, because they're on here, or it's on here. So, anyway, yeah, you could imagine Paul making that version of Women and Wives himself, definitely. Yeah, it's the kind of thing you do. Hopefully you've all caught up with your Taco Bell adverts now. I'm going to go with Deep Down, and I hope you will join me, continuing on. And I'm going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Deep Down. I like the way that they just hold this bit longer than it is on the original. Ooh. How long is it going to go for? You think it's going to come in, then it backs off. Deep Down is one of my favourites on McCartney 3. This is almost like a kind of a soul. We've got a change of vibe, haven't we, here? So this is Blood Orange remix. Anybody know Blood Orange? Anybody heard anything else from them? Yeah, a few people know that there's a Temporary Secretary sample coming up later on. What have we got? Gus says this album sounds like a modern take on McCartney 2, where the original reminds me more of McCartney 1. That's interesting. I see where you're coming from with that. Okay. Phil doesn't have a problem with Paul's voice. I don't either. You know, the man's not far off 80 years old. He's only a year and a bit away. And I'm just glad we're getting new music from him that is still good. Now it sounds like Deep Down. I like the piano here. It's like an early 90s dance music style piano vibe. What is a blood orange? It's just an orange, isn't it? I don't know. Or is it a grapefruit? I don't know. Is that a little message to Yoko? I don't know. Backwards guitars, I'll have a listen for them. Yeah, the drums are good. I'm assuming that they're Paul's drums. I guess they are. But it's that thing in it, when you're listening to one version of a song, you can't remember exactly how the original goes to... But I guess that's his... It sounds like a Paul drum. Yeah, that guitar, it's really low in the mix. It's sort of like, it's behind my ears, is that guitar. Interesting. Yeah, you love the piano, Justin, you hearing that? That's like my kind of piano playing, is that? It's like the only style of piano playing I can do. So this is different, isn't it? Because this is very much a sort of a... It's Blood Orange vocals, I presume, and Paul vocals. It's very much a mixture of the two. Which I suppose some of the others were as well, but I'm noticing it more here. When is a remix not a remix, says Sheffield and Beyond. Well, some of these are... It's hard to tell, innit? It's like... crosses some boundaries between covers and remixes. Which I think makes it interesting. This is a very legitimate Paul McCartney album release, I think. A couple songs is loving it. How's Oliver with this one? You don't like the original too much, but how are you with this one? Okay, we're coming up towards the end of Deep Down. That was our DJ voice. Well, it's the end of Deep Down by Blood Orange. And, right, okay, let's go straight into Seize the Day featuring Phoebe Bridgers. Now, I understand that Phoebe Bridgers, I don't really know anything about her, but that she's quite very current and popular with the youth. I remember liking this. I am... Shoe adverts, great. I'm very much not a fan of making songs sound miserable when they don't need to sound miserable, and this nearly goes there, but just stays the right side of it for me. But again, I love the atmosphere in the back. It's very sort of heavy wash reverb. I'm liking that. Good question from Sheffield and beyond. Did Paul re-record anything? I don't know. My guess is not, but I also guess that some of the artists had access to maybe session recordings that didn't make the final album, maybe? I don't know. Phoebe changed a lyric to Carnivore. Did she? Has that happened? I missed it. Talking too much, that's what it is. Sounds a bit like Billie Eilish. Yeah, it's very Billie Eilish, isn't it? I only really know her from the Bond theme. Yeah, I wouldn't have this as one of my favourites on the album, but I appreciate what she's done. I must admit, I got confused when I heard Phoebe Bridgers' name because I thought of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. But that's not her. They're two different people, aren't they? Anthony prefers this to Kiss of Venus. Okay. If anybody's just joining us, we're doing a McCartney 3 Imagined Listening Party. Listen along with us. We're on Seize the Day. I'm about 2 minutes 15 into it at the moment. Feel free to sync up with us. P says, up until now, I find Deep Down and this one the weakest ones. I think I would probably go with that, P, yeah. It's like any other album, though, isn't it? That you never buy an album and suddenly like everything that's on it. You pick out ones, don't you? And I'm certainly picking out ones that I do enjoy more than others. Yeah, I would say this is nice rather than amazing, but yeah, it's got a good vibe to it. This is just a single vinyl, isn't it? It's not a double vinyl. Won't be long enough for a double vinyl, will it? I think. Colin says Phoebe Waller-Bridge directed a Phoebe Bridgers video last year. Did she really? I bet that was that would have confused the heck out of me. Okay, sliding. EOB, Ed O'Brien from Radiohead. So he did that interview with Paul last night, which was really interesting. They've speeded this up a lot, haven't they? This is a lot faster than the McCartney 3 version. Sheffield and Beyond, good question. Do I think this will chart, the album I mean? I think it's more likely to chart in physical sales in July. I'd be surprised if it does much on the streaming charts, but I don't know. I wouldn't profess to know anything about how the charts work these days. Is it a double vinyl? Okay, thank you. Did I know that? Clearly I didn't. I must have done it at some point. Phoebe has a cameo appearance at the end of the album trailer. Okay. Yeah, this isn't my favourite, but I still like it. I like the energy to it. I think it sounds like Ed O'Brien had a lot of fun mixing it. A couple songs. I completely missed the McCartney 3 listening party last time because I was listening to McCartney 3. Well, that's a good reason. I enjoyed that one last time. That was fun. I might do a Plastic Ono Band remix one next Friday, maybe. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. And if enough people want it, I might do that. I like how prominent the vocals are in this sliding, which they were a bit more up front in the original. Fair enough. I've always had a bit of an Arctic Monkeys vibe from sliding. There's an Arctic Monkeys song called Are You Mine? And it reminds me quite a bit of that. I'm going to pause at the end of sliding, again, to let people catch up who've been getting adverts for tinned ham and things like that. Give you a chance to catch up. Not the full box set, no. The main Plastic Ono Band remix, I may well do that. We will see. Yeah, peace, sitting in the garden with this, with a pint. That'd be good. This one has Wings energy, says Dan. Yeah, where would this fit on Wings? Maybe a back to the egg kind of thing? Right, I'm pausing. There. Pausing at the end of sliding just to give people time to catch up. If you've been plagued with adverts, and let's just see what I can't remember the last time we paused, but we've done Deep Down, Seize the Day, Sliding. Yeah, that's probably not my favourite section of the album, I don't think. And that possibly includes what's coming up next, but everybody can have their own opinion on that one. So, but yeah, that was interesting. Deep Down, Blood Orange, I think was decent. So yeah, that was not my favourite section of the album, but not too bad. They got rid of the guitar bit, the best part. Well, there's still guitar in there, but yeah, it wasn't quite as up front, was there? Not as on the main album. If anybody's just joining us, because I know a few people have, hello. We're doing a McCartney 3 Imagined Listening Party, and we're all sort of playing along at the same time. I've just paused it for people who've got adverts on the streaming so they can catch up. We're going to go in shortly with Long-Tailed Winter Bird, the Damon Albarn remix, and you're welcome to hit play at the same time as us. A couple of songs is on 5-2. You're on 5-0 at one point, weren't you? So you've had a couple that you're not too keen on. Now I'm interested in this next one because again it was one of the ones I was most interested in hearing, the Damon Albarn remix. But in the 2 times that I've heard the album so far, this has kind of washed over me a little bit, and I don't know whether it was because once I was driving, I might have been at a busy junction, I can't remember, or whether I was busy with something on my speakers, but this one hasn't registered in my brain much yet. So I think you're caught up now. Let's go with Long-Tailed Winter Bird. I'm going to set off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Long-Tailed Winter Bird, Damon Albarn remix. I seem to remember it being quite a while before it kicks in with what you know as Long-Tailed Winter Bird, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I think that's maybe why this didn't register with me, was because I wasn't quite sure what I was listening to. I wonder how extreme a remix would have to be for an added writing credit. I would think just in good luck getting one of those off Paul McCartney. I think probably a condition of you being on this album is you ain't getting a writing credit, probably. But generally speaking, yeah, it's an interesting question. The Albarn remix was the one I was most interested in. I would pray probably the same. This and Sliding. Here we go. We know what it is now. So I think this is. It's not unreasonable to suggest that this is going to have a Gorillaz type of vibe. But Damon's clearly added a lot of his own here, hasn't he? There's a lot of stuff here that's nothing to do with Long-Tailed Winter Bird. But I guess that's the same on quite a few of the songs. Really faint in the background, I can hear those sort of recorders that sound a bit Magical Mystery Tour. It's very faint in the background. But again, it's a very funky bass. Dum, 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 dum. It's very much about the bass, this album, I'm finding. It's Friday night, guys, what can I say? It's building up. It's building up. Feels like something's going to happen. This is definitely more interesting in headphones, this song. Yeah, Damon's done a lot of work on this himself, definitely. That's a good point, Justin. You have a feeling this song is the reason they redid the track list. It wouldn't be a natural album opener, would it? And I guess in the streaming age, I've had a thought. In the streaming age, you need to hit people straight in, because if people get bored when they're streaming, they're off in 30 seconds, aren't they? So maybe, I wonder if, will the vinyl and the CD revert to the original album order? We've already got a difference in track order between the McCartney 3 CD and vinyl. Will they go to the original order for vinyl? Personally, I'd probably prefer that. I'm certainly liking this more now I'm hearing it properly through headphones, through the cans. I just saw a question there. Is that a South African red, Andrew? Says Chris. That's a level of detail beyond where I go. No, California. It's a Californian Merlot. Deep Down and Sliding are the only clankers on the original. These two versions are forgettable, says George. It's not doing it for you, is it, George? That's your long-tailed winter bird. Done. Okay. I certainly enjoyed that more on the third listen through cans. Now, this took me by surprise, did Lavatory Lil. Just going into Lavatory Lil now. Now, I must admit, Josh Homme is somebody who I'm well aware of, but I've never really listened to him much, or at all. I didn't expect him to sound like this. I thought he'd have a much more rocky voice. This is a much more gentler voice than I was expecting. And I think this is the one that's the least different to the main album version, I think. It's the most faithful. Good point from Phil. Physical release has a bonus track. It's the Idris Elba remix of Long-Tailed Winter Bird, isn't it? So there is something to grab people into the physical release there. Gel, the tracklist on vinyl is the same as streaming. Fair enough, thank you for clarifying that. I think I'd prefer it if it was the same order as McCartney 3, but who am I to say? I'm sure they've sequenced it in the way that they felt this would work best. I like this guitar. It's very much like a... That sounds like a McCartney 1 style lead guitar to me, that. This is definitely the most faithful to the album, isn't it? To the original version. Lalo, not sure which. Kiss of Venus is the best track. Okay, fine. I think it's definitely the one that's going to do well in terms of streaming. Definitely. And I think because it doesn't deviate as much... Oh, I like the bass. Doom, diddly doom. Because it doesn't deviate as much, it doesn't grab me as much as some of the others. Does anyone know if this is a limited release? I think it's just like lots of little limited releases, isn't it? There's lots of coloured versions. different colours available, and each one's going to be limited to a few thousand. Seems to be the way Paul likes to do it these days. Okay, I'm just getting to the end of Lavatory Lil. I am just going to pause it for a couple of moments, just for those who've got the adverts again, just to catch up. So we've just had Longtail Winterbird, Damon Albarn remix, and Lavatory Lil by Josh Homme. So yeah, the Damon Albarn remix struck me better this time round. Lavatory Lil, very faithful. I think to be honest, so far my favourite part of the album is probably the first 4 or 5 songs. I think the first 4 or 5 compared to the second 4 or 5, I'll take that opening over it as my favourite. And maybe that's, if that's an opinion that a lot of people have had while they've been putting the album together, maybe that's why they've loaded it like that to get people hooked into a streaming. A couple of songs has got another loo roll advert. They're desperate to sell you loo roll. Ohio lottery ads. Right, okay, we'll let you catch up for a moment. Anthony thinks that's by far the least adventurous. Yeah, possibly so. It's not that different, says Pete. I agree. We're going to be moving on shortly to When Winter Comes, which is the, what is it, Anderson .Paak remix. I love this. I love this When Winter Comes remix. I love the drums that go with it. It just gives it a jauntiness. And there's also I'll see if I find the same thing here now, but I found that there was certain bass notes that are different to the sort of chords that we know of the song, and it just gives it a completely different vibe. The different bass note just sort of sends it into a different mood, and I really loved that. So I've really enjoyed When Winter Comes remix, so I'll be interested to hear what you think of it, especially if you've never heard it before, because some of you are going to be hearing this for the first time. But I really love this, so I think you've caught up by now. So in the count of 5, we're going to go with When Winter Comes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. When Winter Comes, Anderson .Paak remix. I love how it all sounds a bit like the tape's not quite running at the right speed. I love this. A beautiful little piano as well, I've not noticed. So he's taken the guitar off, the acoustic guitar, and changed it for piano. When winter comes. I am really enjoying this one. I really am. Love to hear what everybody else thinks. Couple of songs is loving it. This is your first time hearing it, isn't it? I love this. Sheffield and Beyond. What is all this about, Banksy? I'll save that for the next song. We'll come on to that. No, this is my favourite on the album. I'm changing from Pretty Boys to this. I really like this. When winter comes. It's only short, isn't it? 2 minutes 20. I love how the background is just like tape warbling. It's beautiful. A lot of people seem to be liking this one. Bossa Nova feel. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of love for this song. So I don't know Anderson .Paak. I've never heard of him, her, them. I don't know who he, they, she is. But I really love that. That is great. And we're now on to Deep Deep Feeling, the last song on the album. Thank you to everybody who's still with us. I'll carry on a little bit afterwards. I'm not going to... and well, I'll have a few minutes afterwards to talk about this. So, Deep Deep Feeling. 11 minutes, 23 seconds. Finally, one for Oliver to enjoy. 3D RDN remix. So, I love Deep Deep Feeling on McCartney 3. I think it's just a beautiful soundscape. So, this always was going to have my attention. And I do like it. I don't like it as much as the original. So, Sheffield and Beyond was asking a couple of minutes ago, what's all this about Banksy? He's referring to something that I put on Twitter earlier on today. RDN is, some of you will know, it's the initials of the guy who's doing this, and he's in, oh God, this is how out of touch I am. Is it Massive Attack? Is it Massive Attack? Or is it Portishead? I'm doing a bit of Googling here. Yeah, okay. RDN is Robert Del Naja from Massive Attack. And he is... if anybody's going to be Banksy, well, obviously somebody is, it seems like he's the most likely candidate. This is potentially a Banksy remix. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that he may well be Banksy. So that's what I was getting to with that. As if you get Banksy to remix a song on your album. That's crazy. Can you hear what's coming in? If you're in sync with me, Temporary Secretary is coming in. It's sampled. Yes. I was very excited when I heard this morning because I didn't know that this was going to be here. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, you're all getting the Temporary Secretary vibes. But he's played with it a lot, hasn't he? So you're right, Dan. Goldie did. I think he called him Rob in an interview, didn't he? Bob Dulles says, sounds like Temporary Secretary. I think it is Temporary Secretary. It's a sample. It's building up nicely. I'm liking this a lot more now. This is grabbing me very much. And then it all just calms down. Where's it going to go? We've still got 8 minutes left. This is almost how like the end of Deep Deep Feeling, McCartney's version, comes in at the end. A real soundscape, P. You're absolutely right. That's what it is. Oh, that's nice how he's done like that backwards vocals. Couple of songs is loving it. Good. Yeah. I've certainly picked up a lot more by listening to it through the cans. And I'll pick up a lot more by not blabbing through it next time I listen to it as well. What's the longest song Paul ever did? Right. I'm going to get on iTunes and I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to see what's the longest Paul McCartney song I've got in iTunes. Let's have a look. The longest... so I was skipping through interviews and such like to find an actual song. Well, there's stuff on the Liverpool Sound Collage, but that's not actual songs, is it? That are like 16, 17 minutes long. Ecce Cor Meum, but again, they're sort of classical pieces. Right, I'm calling it Solstice Ambient A Cappella from the deluxe edition of Electric Arguments is 15 minutes 13 seconds. I'm going with that. Russia's has got Hour of Vader at 12 minutes 49 seconds by the Fireman. So, you know, he's done stuff in this ballpark. Hey Grandude, 11 minutes 51. We won't count that. Secret Friend, says Mike. Did I miss that because I was busy looking on iTunes? I didn't notice any Secret Friend. Or maybe I've not got to it yet. Maybe you're ahead of me. Rinse the Raindrops. Rinse the Raindrops is a great song. You're all hearing Secret Friend. Have I missed it? Temporary Secretary's back in now. That's just come back. Oh, Rinse the Raindrops, he's saying that could be one of his longest songs. And Secret Friend is one of his longest songs. Is that what you're calling? You're not saying this has got Secret Friend on it. I'm misunderstanding you. Yeah. Secret Friend would fit great on this, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'm with you now. Yeah, why you were saying Secret Friend. Get me conversations mixed up. Okay, I want to know, has anybody not liked a single thing on this album? Let's see if anybody will say that they didn't like anything at all on this album. It's got to be somebody. We've still got another 5 minutes or so yet. Well, Red Rose Medley, Oliver, though, that's what, 3 or 4 different songs, isn't it? I'm not sure whether we count that. But, you know, you can count it if you want. It's doesn't matter, does it? I do love Temporary Secretary. What a song that is. I've got a really good remix of that I'm sure some of you have got. What was it called? Radio Slave mix of Temporary Secretary. Came out in 2003. Just over 7 minutes long. That's really good. COVID vaccine. Ow. Got a sore arm. Oliver, you liked one song, so that doesn't count. I'm looking for people who didn't like anything at all on here. Phil says Mr. Mayo disliked it before he heard it. Yeah, but I'd be interested to see what Joe thinks now that he's presumably heard it. I'll be looking out for his videos over the next couple of days or so, see what he thinks. Is this too long? Says Sheffield and Beyond. You're thinking possibly. Maybe so. Maybe this is what nudged it to be able to be a double vinyl, and they could then charge an extra 15 quid for it. Family Way is one. Well, Family Way, I think, is my file of it certainly is lots of different. It's I've got, let's have a look, 14 different files. But they're all called really weird things like Q2M1/2M4. I've no idea what's going on with the naming of the songs on that album. Hey Granddude is his longest song. Yeah, the Radio Slave mix, Temporary Secretary, is really good, isn't it? An uncut freebie CD. You're right. Was it called Something for the Weekend? I think it was called. James is not a fan. James Lightfoot, not a fan of any of it. James, is there anything on here that you do like at all? Yeah, the Idris Elba song that certainly helps to push it to a fourth side of vinyl. We don't know how long that's going to be, do we? Hello Anna, you love the Beatles, love Paul McCartney. Hope you're enjoying this album. Mayo had a live chat. Was that today he had a live chat? I've been really busy today, so if he's done a live chat today, I didn't get a chance to see it. I do always try and drop in on his live chats when he does them, but yeah, I've not had much time available today for that. So I presume he has heard it then. I don't suppose you're there lurking, are you, Joe? Somewhere? He is sometimes. What have we got? Oh, we've only got about a minute or so left. please stick around after we've finished this. I'm not going to disappear straight away. We'll have another few minutes, chat about this and anything else that anybody wants to have a chat about for a little while. It was ahead of his Glasgow gig. Yeah, that's right. The Uncut brought out a CD of, was it called like Glastonbury Weekend or something? That CD. James, you thought Find My Way was all right? Yeah, cool. Yeah, Find My Way has definitely grown on me. The Beck song, that was one that hadn't grabbed me too much, but it is doing. And that was one of the previews I'd heard. I think Deep Deep Feeling, I think the first half of this I liked more than the second half. I thought the first half of it was more interesting on Deep Deep Feeling. This album has really divided the fans, so is it aimed at fans of the guest artists? Well, I'm sure if you asked Paul, would he like to attract fans of Dominic Fike and Beck and Phoebe Bridgers and such like? Of course he's going to say that. Yeah, definitely. There we go. Raymond says, just checking on the chat, how's the album? It finished about 8 seconds ago at my end. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking some of it a lot more than others. Raymond, thank you for joining. For anybody who has joined late, you are more than welcome to rewind to the beginning of this video and hit play when I did and go with the chat. But you should have all just about finished this album by now if you were in sync with me. I'll take them off now because they're hurting my ears. I certainly enjoyed that, so that was my third listen. I enjoyed that more than the first two. Some of it's growing. There's still a couple of songs had a KFC advert at the end. Paul will be happy with that. You'd think Paul might be able to sway it. No adverts for KFC during my videos. I think the middle portion is probably my least favourite, but I think there's still things there that I'm liking. Deep Down, for example, I certainly enjoyed it more on this listen than previous ones, so it's starting to grab me. I think I like it more. The more adventurous this album is, the more I like it. And I've said that in the past about certain other things, like the Beatles' Love album, which I really, really enjoy that. But it's the more adventurous that album gets, the more I enjoy it. Bob Diller says you get a Pink Floyd feeling with this piece. I presume you mean Deep Deep Feeling. I can see where you're going with that, definitely. Chris says it's okay, but not a patch on the original. Probably a lot more listenable than what else is currently around. That's, yeah, fair enough. I think I had a thought earlier on, and I was trying to think how to describe this. And I was thinking of, like, as me, who's somebody who's becoming an old fart, who doesn't listen to very much modern music at all, and I'm somebody, I love to have a moan about modern music. So I thought, this is like... It's a bit like going out to sea in a boat in choppy waters, is me listening to modern style music, because there's the potential for me to get very sick and have an awful time. But it's like I've dropped an anchor, and that anchor is the Paul McCartney anchor that sort of that's my sort of link, the link of what I love to this particular music. And I sort of thought of it in those terms, in terms of, yeah, it's something that could lose me and could turn me off, but I've got that connection to it. I'm tied by a rope to my love of Paul McCartney music with this, and I've probably explained that really badly, but that was a thought I had this morning. If this album had just come out, if this wasn't an album of Paul McCartney songs, would I be listening to this? I would probably never know about it, to be honest. But because it's got that link there to him, I'm giving it a fair chance, and I'm enjoying it. And I wonder whether is that going to have an effect on making me open to other music that's done in a similar fashion, but that hasn't got that anchor, that Paul McCartney anchor to it. And I don't know. Only time will tell whether that's the case or not. Be interested to see whether that happens. So let me... whacking my microphone there. Let me know your comments, everybody, as some of you just have. and let's see what everybody else is thinking about it. I did see somebody asking, where was it? Somebody asked me how I would rate it, and I can't find where that... Oh, it was gel. I still don't know whether it's gel or jelly. Or what grade do you give the album? I think at the moment, you know, if McCartney 3 for me is an 8 out of 10, I'm going to give this a 6.5 for now. But 6.5 out of 10 after 3 listens ain't bad. That's not bad at all. I think there's potential for me to enjoy more of it as we go along. Anthony said you enjoyed that a lot better than you expected. So that's good. Mike Seal liked all of it. Exciting to still be getting interesting stuff like this from the great man. Yeah, definitely. And I hope that this encourages some people to go and listen to that, McCartney 3, who might not otherwise have done it. You know, maybe a Dominic Fike fan, for example, or a Phoebe Bridgers fan or somebody like that. So, yeah, I mean, Mike's saying there, you'll definitely check out some of the artists that I was unfamiliar with before. I think I was talking about the When Winter Comes Anderson .Paak remix, how much I loved that. I'm certainly, there's a good chance that I'm going to check out some Anderson .Paak music and maybe a bit of Dominic Fike and somebody said perfectly early on how to pronounce was it Krungbin? And I've forgotten again. Mark says overall I think it's worthwhile. Yeah, fair enough. We've got Black Bear. I enjoyed the Pretty Boys version with the group Krungbin, which is a cool group. Yeah. Disappointed with a fair amount of it. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think the Josh Homme one is not what I was expecting. I was expecting something quite a lot rockier than that, and also it wasn't as adventurous as the other ones. So interesting. I hope this stream's working okay, because I'm getting some really weird internet messages on my telly, but that might not necessarily be affecting the live stream. I hope it isn't. Whoa, a couple of songs. McCartney 3 is a 10 out of 10. I'm a 10 out of 10. That's bold. I mean, that there's nowhere left to go from that. Are you saying that that's up there for you with the best albums you've ever heard? And if it is, then great. Colin, I think it might have been Colin who gave us the pronunciation earlier. He's actually explaining it. The UA is kind of like the oo in foot or wood. Oh, foot. So Krungbin. Thank you. How do you think this McCartney album compares to other McCartney albums? I mean, I feel a lot of links to things like Fireman albums, Twin Freaks, that kind of thing. I think I talked earlier about you could see that maybe the Kiss of Venus might be the equivalent on here to what For You is on Egypt Station. So I think there's quite a lot of links here between things here and things that McCartney's done. Some of it is very much Pretty Boys was very much to me like a 90s Fireman vibe. Absolutely. God, it says Colin Krungbin. There you go. Anyone, Bob Diller says, anyone enjoys this more than the original? Maybe some people are. Yeah, that's a good question. Let us know. Does anybody prefer this to the original? If you just type prefer this, we'll understand what you mean then when it's 30 seconds later and things start coming through. Has the gamble of digital release before physical release paid off? I don't think... We might never know. I'm sure Paul and his accountants will know eventually whether it's paid off. Because, yeah, this is like I was saying earlier, people who might not have been around earlier, I was saying that what a gamble this is, because if somebody's got this ordered and now they find they don't like it, they may cancel their order. There might be people who get to June and think, well, I enjoyed that, but I've kind of had enough of it now. I don't need to spend 40 quid on a piece of vinyl. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether this is a worthwhile tactic. But we'll see. But, yeah, that's got to be why they're putting extra content on the physical versions. We'll see. Oh, Chris checked out Dominic Fake. Is that a deliberate spelling there? I don't know. You like Kiss of Venus, but you didn't like anything else. Fair enough. Yeah. I would love to get a new Fireman album. Definitely, that would be really fun. But I mean, it's quite a long time now since Paul's done anything like that, isn't it? Like a new Fireman album, or I mean, it's 10 years since he did any classical works. I know we may well get something soon. We might get that It's a Wonderful Life musical. Maybe that's a different kind of thing. It won't be classical, but it'll be a different kind of route. So yeah. I don't think anybody's said that they prefer this version of the album yet. Fair enough. And that's absolutely. I don't prefer this. I don't think I'll ever prefer this, but I think there's enough here to keep me coming back to it every now and again, and certainly picking out a few songs. You know, there's a lot of albums where there's maybe 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 songs on an album that will make it into my playlists of things that I play regularly, and I can see several of these making it into that, definitely. So I think it's a worthwhile album, definitely, and When Winter Comes is I just absolutely love that. So let me know. Just no other text in the comment at all for this, but just so we can identify an answer to this question. If you could just type in what's your favourite McCartney 3 imagined song so far. If you just give us the name of the song, we'll see if there's anything that sort of seems to be standing out as a favourite. Yeah, Electric Arguments 2008. 13 years since we've had anything from Fireman. 10 years since we've had a classical album. So, but you know, we've had quite a bit in the meantime, haven't we? We've had New, we've had Egypt Station, McCartney 3. It's been some good stuff. What else have we got? Would Lennon Estate do anything like this? I can't imagine them doing, but you know, it's not for me to guess, but it doesn't feel to me like the kind of thing that they would want to do, because I guess this was probably made easier by the fact that, you know, these are virtually brand new songs that have been done, some of them in a fairly modern style anyway. We've got some song only things coming through of people's favourites so far. So what have we got? Kiss of Venus, Find My Way, Kiss of Venus, Kiss of Venus. Interesting, because you'd think that would be one of the more controversial ones just because of how modern it is, but people seem to be liking it. There's not as many people saying When Winter Comes as I thought. Deep Deep Feeling, Pretty Boys, When Winter Comes, Kiss of Venus, Seize the Day. We're getting a lot of different answers here, but overall, it feels like Kiss of Venus is getting the most votes. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. But then also, that was the first one, wasn't it, that was put out there. So people have had the longest to get used to it. Whether that's part of it as well, I don't know. For me, I'm voting When Winter Comes now. I would have said Pretty Boys before we'd done this run through. But When Winter Comes is just, I absolutely loved that. That was great. Maxwell thought Kiss of Venus was the worst, but yeah, it's won the vote though, definitely, I think. Yeah, McCartney signature box sets, London Town and Back to the Egg, maybe next year. Who knows? Whoever wants to try and second guess that one now. I mean, I've tried enough times. Is it going to be this year? Feels unlikely, but you never know. Yeah. So yeah, McCartney 3 Imagine, that was good. I'm enjoying it, definitely am. I'm going to listen to it a few more times. I've got a good sort of couple of hours or more of driving tomorrow, so I think I may well play it at least once in the car tomorrow and crank it right up, see how I get on with it. I mentioned about, I don't know how long, half an hour ago, that I might do this next week for the Plastic Ono Band remix, potentially. Or I might leave it a little bit longer until more people have had a chance to get their CDs and their vinyl, whatever, actually in the possession. But if you would like me to do a Plastic Ono Band remix listening party like this, please let me know in the comments. Because I'm only going to do it if people actually want me to do it. But we'll see. Oh, Hem and Shoe, what's your favourite Wings or McCartney album? Please answer. I will answer. It's Ram. Definitely Ram. So I'm really looking forward to the Ram Half Speed remaster coming out on the 14th of May, and the Ram on Tribute album that Denny Sywell's put together coming out on the same day. So I'll be getting both of those on the same day, on release day, definitely, because that the McCartney Half Speed remaster from last year just is the best sounding version of it I've ever heard. So yeah, definitely getting the Ram one. That'll be good. Sheffield and Beyond says, on an unrelated note, this month's Uncut Seed, he has an unreleased Dylan track from 1983. Ah, very good. I might have to have a look at that then, see if get hold of a copy of that. Thank you for letting us know. Right, okay, I seem to be getting some thumbs up for the Plasticono band. I will plan that in. It might... I don't know whether to do it on Friday or not, in case people haven't had their deliveries of the CDs or the vinyl. Maybe I'll leave it a couple of days so that at least a lot more people have got a chance. We will see. But I enjoy these listening parties. I hope you do as well. So I'm going to wrap it up in a second. I want to thank everybody for joining in and making this a fun thing to do. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. So yeah, McCartney 3 Imagined. It's more fun than I thought it was going to be. Let's put it like that. So I will see you all very soon. Thank you very much for joining, but I'm going to check out now and leave you to enjoy the rest of your Fridays, and I will see you all again very soon. Cheers, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.